What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Steel Trap Mind Show. I'm your host, Andrew Carter, alongside my co-host and girlfriend,
Jennifer Bolton.
And we're actually here filming on Easter Sunday. So happy Easter, everyone, if you celebrate. We're bad Catholics. We're not at church. We're filming this right now, so I guess that says a lot about us.
No, it's just bad timing. We were on spring break last weekend, so we're not really dealing with reality yet.
we were in that coming back from spring break mode where we weren't thinking about future plans, but yeah. So it is Easter Sunday and it's nice out, but I guess it's not nice enough to be outside. You could say
it's cool.
It's a little cool. We have this crazy weather where it's like too windy to. It's like nice out, but it's like so windy where you can't be outside. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we got some exciting topics, you guys, today. We are going to be looking at, first off, the emotion code. Basically, new, I guess it's not new, but holistic.
It's been around a while.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to talk about the emotion code. I went to a intuitive healer.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to talk about the housing crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And once we're done talking about the housing crisis that's going on, I know it's weighing on a lot of people. So maybe after talking about housing crisis, they can do emotion code as a way to release some of that trapped energy, some of that emotion. Because whether you're a buyer or seller, everyone's stressed off about the housing market.
Well, we are wanting to buy a house, and we're renting, and we want to buy a home, and the prices are insane.
Well, and it's hard because a lot of people don't know whether they should time the market, whether they should wait. I think for most folks, if you're looking at staying in the house, if it's gonna be your forever home, or you're gonna be there for 5 or 7 years, you probably don't need to worry about market fluctuation. But with the down payment, how much money you're putting down, you might have to worry about the prices because of equity.
So we're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
it's so challenging. It's so challenging.
So challenging. We'll get into all that. But so to start off, we were looking at emotion code, which I guess it's new to me because I've just found out what it was. Very interesting way to, I guess you call it a type of therapy, correct?
Yes, so we're doing this show. We're talking about health. We're talking about wealth. Mm-hmm. So I just thought, well, let me have some experiences to come and talk about things that I am very curious about. So I've seen Bradley Nelson. He's the one that's come up with the emotion code. He tells his story and of how he thought it up. And I'm so curious about this. I'm so curious to see, as a scientist, to see if this works. It was a very interesting experience as a scientist.
Because you want to validate stuff scientifically.
Right, you want to validate stuff scientifically, and it's so woo-woo. It's
That was actually one of my questions. I was going to say, is this stuff hokey? And I thought maybe it's a rude question, but
and she did more. She was she did the works on me.
Mm-hmm.
We cleared
so you actually,
emotions from ancestors.
So we'll clear up with the audience. You did an emotion code session.
Yeah, so I went. She's an intuitive healer. She does the emotion code, and then Bradley Nelson also has the body code. Mm-hmm. So he takes pains in the body and connects it to organs. So there's that, and then she did her own stuff. Her own, I had demons cleared. I had the works. And what was really crazy is she's right about so many things. And I'm trying to not give any information out. And she's just she's right. She's right. So why I went, another reason I went. So one, incredible curiosity is mm-hmm. one. 2, I have struggled with my weight since 8th grade. So, and I've done every diet. I've read every book. I am almost an expert on nutrition. I have done supplements. I watch everything that I eat. For the most part, during Christmas, I allow myself to have some, that's the time of year I allow myself mm-hmm. to have a hot chocolate and some cake.
Christmas is rough though, because I feel like it starts off, it's like a cheat meal, but then just
it's a cheat season.
I just go into the deep end completely.
Yeah, I went off the deep end.
I just go right off the diving board.
And normally it's 5 pounds, and I gotta lose this 5 pounds. This year I can't do it anymore. It was 10 pounds, mm-hmm. and I was really upset with myself for allowing that
Well, it
to
was
happen.
also COVID was a big part of it.
Oh yeah, because
All that
we were
immobility.
sick. We were sick in November, and then we went right into Christmas, and it was rough. So it's like it's this thing I'm always fighting. I'm fighting my weight. I'm fighting my weight. And I thought maybe this is it. Maybe I have a trapped emotion about my weight, and this will be it. So I thought it's worth it. Like there's no downside, right? Like you take a drug and there may be a dangerous side effect. Someone doing like a woohoo treatment to clear trapped emotions, there's no downside to it.
Well, I look at it as, what do you have to lose?
Right,
And,
there's nothing to
You know, you're
lose.
probably right. It probably is hokey, but
No, I
a
don't
lot
think
of
it's
stuff,
hokey at all.
Look, a lot of stuff is hokey. I mean, everyone has their thing they do. Where I go into something, I'm like, I know this is BS. I know it's hokey, but it works. It works for me.
I just like suspended all judgment. So
Right.
positive or negative, I just try to be neutral.
Just have an open mind. Don't be cynical.
And then as a scientist, I'm aware of the power of the placebo effect. So if you don't know what the placebo effect is, it's where your belief will cause a positive outcome. And they've done a lot of neat science behind it. So you can, like they'll often do in a controlled clinical trial, you'll have people taking a placebo, people getting the real treatment. And the thing is, the people that are taking the placebo often will do really well. In fact, when you're dealing with drugs like antidepressants, sometimes the placebo does better. So if I went into the energy healing with just the belief that it could work, that may be enough.
But even
that
if
may
it
be
is
enough for it to work.
even if it is a placebo, it still gets you in that right mindset.
Right.
Gets you in the healing mindset.
Yeah. Pharmaceutical companies, they hate the placebo effect. I love the placebo effect. I don't care
And
how
anything
I
that gets me in the right mindset,
Hey.
anything that gets you in a new zone, new state of mind.
anything that's going to get me at 17% body fat, I don't care.
So I do want to ask
my
you.
secret goal is 18 to 17.
I want to ask you some questions about emotion code, narrow some stuff down. I mean,
So
because
maybe
I
we
watched.
should talk about like what it is, right?
Right. Oh yeah. First off, I mean, if you want to give a high level definition of what it is and how it works.
Okay, so the idea is, the premise is that disease in the body is based on trapped emotions. So something's happened and you couldn't handle the emotions. You couldn't handle the emotions, and process it. Like, so you're a child and something terrible happens.
And it's emotional baggage.
Yeah, so you have this strong emotion, you can't process it, maybe it's not safe to process it, maybe you're not able to. And it gets trapped in your body. And then that can manifest as disease, pain, diabetes, just anything. So how do you find the trapped emotion? So then you have to kind of accept that could be causing it. So the idea is that your subconscious mind is recording everything, and that it knows what the trapped emotion is. And so if you help your subconscious mind, or use your subconscious mind to find that trapped emotion, you can clear it. So they do it with muscle testing, muscle strength testing.
So they find where the emotional baggage is, and maybe that's causing the tension. They're finding where the tension is in your body, because I guess tension, you could look at it as trapped energy.
Well, no, they're literally looking for like the actual trapped emotion.
Okay.
So you use muscle testing. So apparently, so give me your arm. Put your arm on. If you hold your arm, hold your arm strongly. So if I ask you a question and you answer honestly, your arm will stay strong.
Okay.
But if I ask you a question and it's not true, then you become weak. And if you've ever seen this, it's really interesting. So if you say my name is Andrew, which is true,
my name is Andrew,
you're going to stay strong.
Yeah.
But if you say something that isn't true, like my name is Bob, you're going to feel like a momentary weakness.
You do feel it. It sounds like total yoo-hoo,
Yeah.
but it sounds total kook. But you do feel
Right.
if something is not truthful, you feel hesitancy, a pause. Like the emotion is not matching the physical. You actually do feel.
Yeah, you do feel a little bit of a weakness.
And I'm sure people feel this every day in their real life. If they're smiling and they're not actually happy. So I mean, yeah, there is something there, even if it is kind of.
Start using that to ask the subconscious yes and no questions, like with my weight problem, like Jennifer's weight problem. Start asking questions, what emotion it is. So he's got this big chart. And you're like, is the emotion in column A? Is the emotion in column B? Is the emotion, and so you figure out what the emotion is with the muscle testing. So, and so then do we need to know when Jennifer experienced this emotion? It's like yes or no. And then we were using the muscle testing the whole time. And she did it by proxy. So that's even more woo-woo, okay? That's a level up of woo-hoo. Because she, in the moment, since she's an intuitive, becomes me. And so by sitting by me, she became me. And then she started asking herself the questions and doing her own muscle testing on herself about me. But what was really interesting is that this 8th grade situation of my mom moved in with this man who was really abusive, and I had a lot of depression and sadness that year. And that's where all the emotions were. And it was the very year I started having trouble with my weight, and we found it.
So it's similar to PTSD almost.
Yeah, and she cleared it. And then she cleared stuff she cleared stuff that happened. Oh, and then you clear it with a magnet. So then we find the emotion and we find the cause and when it happened, and then you clear it with a magnet along your spine. Or you can do it on your head, so you can clear it. And so I'm doing this as a scientist where I believe in science, and I'm clearing emotions with a magnet, and it seems like it's the most.
You feel it being released?
Well, I couldn't feel anything. I thought, well, I don't feel any different. And I actually had pain in my knee and hip that we're supposed to clear. And then after the clearing, I went to, and she goes, it's going to take a couple days. She's like, give it a couple days. We cleared food allergies, pain. Oh, she removed 2 heart walls. And they talk about that, of a heart wall where you're a child and you can't handle pain. And your heart is walled off. So I get out of the car and my leg still hurts, And I thought, this didn't work. This is all, And then 2 days.
Reaction.
Yeah, 2 days later. So she said, you gotta wait 2 days. I'm like, okay. So 2 days later, I felt so much better. It was all this stress I was under. I've been under a lot of stress. And she's like, your stress is off the charts. I'm like, I know. And I felt it lift. I've been so much happier. Can't you tell a difference? Last 2
big difference.
Yeah. 2 weeks. I felt so much better.
No, the stubbing your toe or bumping.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize I did it. So anything.
Any small infraction, any minor inconvenience.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it. Anytime I'd run across something, I'd be like, oh.
Just the most aggressive sighing is everyone's been through that.
Instead of just rolling with it, it was too much. Any little thing was too much. Instead of rolling with it, I didn't even realize I was doing it.
But it worked. You're happier. A lot of the pain has subsided.
Happier, more relaxed, and I think I've also lost a little weight. So we'll see if I get down. Maybe this is it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a lot of folks need to be doing this. I mean, with the last 2 years we've been through, and I don't care who you are. I mean, it's been rough for just about everybody. I mean, whether it is therapy, there's different kinds of mental health treatments. I mean, we got to start looking at all kinds of different, whether it's esoteric or alternative methods for healing. So emotion code, that could be something people again do if they've tried stuff and it hasn't worked, or give them I'm gonna be honest, when I first heard about this, I was like, this is totally kooky. It's weird, but honestly, I kind of want to try it now because I've seen the difference it's made in you, and I'm always having an open mind, trying not to be cynical, and I think if you're cynical about stuff, it can kind of,
Like,
keep away
I was
happiness.
with her for 2 hours, and we covered a lot of stuff, and it's $100.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you think about how expensive it is to go to the doctor, if you want to like supplement that, it's like, yeah, go to the doctor, take your medicine, like don't stop doing that stuff. But if you just want to try something else and it's only going to cost you $100 and you may feel better, go for it.
Well, it's like, what do you have to lose?
There's nothing like
There's nothing to
$100.
lose. Yeah.
Excuse me. That's it. So.
Which, I mean, you watch your channel enough, you'll make the $100 back quickly. Or you'll know how. You'll have the idea how. But I mean, yeah, like we were saying, I mean, the last 2 years there's been so much going on in the world and all kinds of different stresses. Emotion code's one way to handle those. I mean, yeah, housing market, the other topic we were looking at, I mean, that's been causing people a great deal of grief and uncertainty. We want to help clear the record with that, kind of give you guys, our...
There's a light at the end of the tunnel with this housing crisis right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different indicators that are very close to what happened in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
So there's indicators that this is going to burst. So
This is another housing crisis.
right. So let's
A housing bubble.
Let's dig a little deeper. So we've got this situation and people are watching home prices go through the roof.
And let me give some numbers. I mean, I have a buddy who bought a house in 2018. He bought his house at around $200,000, and that house is now worth $340,000.
It's ridiculous.
And I mean, I looked at the numbers, and I think in 2020 home prices went up about 25%, and then in 2021 they went up 15%. So across the board, on average, they're up 40% roughly. And I mean, all my friends I talk to who are selling their homes and, I bought it for this in 2018. I mean, all the numbers are adding up. Pretty unbelievable.
And normally it takes 20 years for it to go up that much.
Right. And the thing I'm seeing too that I've never seen this before. I don't know if you have. So many people I know, they're selling homes with the expectation that they're not gonna be able to buy another home, like for the foreseeable future, whether that's 6 months or a year. I mean, they're just trying to cash out at the top, kind of knowing that they're probably going to be out of the market for a while.
Well, I had a
That's
friend
not typical.
that sold, couldn't find something to buy. She was outbid over and over again, had to move into an apartment. Then she put earnest money down, and the house failed inspection. It had mold. And the people are like, we're not going to do anything about the mold. Missed out on that house, lost the earnest money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been a mess for her.
5 years ago, if the inspectors said we're not going to do anything about the mold, you could probably say hell you are.
Owner
But
will remediate or lower the price.
yeah, and anymore, I mean, you're SOL. I mean, the realtor, the home inspector, they're not going to honor something. What are you going to do?
Yeah, she
Only game in
let
town.
the house go because she's like, I can't move my daughters into a house with mold. And she's finally gotten a home, but it's been this huge undertaking, 2 moves. And so it's hard out there. It really is. And then to look, like I've been looking all this time, like I got this rental, I've been looking at homes. We had amazing homes for $450,000, and now they're $550,000, $600,000, like the same home. And it's like, I don't want to buy a house for that much.
Right. Well, the good news, and I don't know if it's good news for, it's not good news for everybody. I mean, unfortunately, what we can, learn economics and look at the housing crisis, what is good news for some is bad for others. I don't see the party lasting. I mean, I think, this housing market, it's a party. And, it's, the clock has struck past midnight. The punch bowl's empty.
So
the drinks, are empty. People are starting to call the Ubers. They're starting to go home. I mean, this party, it's pretty much already come to an end.
There's
now we're just gonna
right.
now we're just gonna have to look at the aftermath of the party. The next day. The cleanup, how messy it is. So the party's over, but now let's see what this aftermath looks like, because I'm seeing prices. They're going to be going down. I mean, maybe 10%. Maybe they'll go down 10, 15. It'll just be flat for a number of years. But just like the demand of it, the economics. I mean, what that article we're reading, it's saying that the number of houses being built, it's not matching the working age population. The working age population is decreasing.
So we have a situation where we had a huge demand because people weren't wanting to sell their homes. So there was plenty of homes. Like,
And why didn't people
isn't a
want to sell
shortage
their
of homes.
Mm-hmm.
So why they didn't want to? So people wanted to stay put because of COVID. Okay, because were in a pandemic and they didn't want to move.
Mm-hmm.
People, you made this point earlier. People refinanced at these really low interest rates, so they're staying put.
Yeah, they lowered the interest rate to 0, so all these people are financed. They have a very low payment, and I know friends who, their payment went from over $1,000 to like $700 a month, and they're saying, why would I leave? I have a really good situation. I'm paying so little money. So the problem is you hear this stuff about housing shortage. There is no housing shortage. I mean, there's plenty of homes. It's just there's not enough people who are willing to sell their home.
Right. And then you've got this high demand because the interest rates are low, so people are looking to buy because the interest rates are low, and then rent is going through the roof. Mm-hmm. And they're like, every year it's more. And I went through that where they wanted a lot more. And so people are wanting to buy to lock into a price.
Mm-hmm. I will say I'm a little shocked with the way that rent has been going up. 52% millennials live at home. I mean, and you can look that number up. I mean, USA Today's report on that. I think the Federal Reserve has looked at those numbers. I mean, by all accounts, half of millennials are living at home. So I'm like, all the rent's going up. It's like, where is all the demand coming from?
I'm seeing it. I know. I'm seeing it because I watch Zillow, so I'm watching the rental prices, and there wasn't that much to rent unless it was a huge standalone home. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a lot of rentals over $2,000, and I'm seeing so many. I'm seeing places the same size as what we have now for $2,200.
Mm-hmm. It's a rude awakening. There was a friend I knew who they lived in a townhouse that was pretty much rent controlled, and the rental, the owner is selling it, so it's going from being a rental to a condo, and they've lived there for 10 years, and now they're looking at the market. I mean, you look at prices that are up 40-50% to what they used to pay, and it's definitely, for people, whether you're getting an apartment, whether you're buying a home, it's been a rude awakening for some folks.
Yeah, we're watching it happen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there's indications that it's not going to last. This is going to get better.
I don't see it as sustainable. So one thing we mentioned in 2020, a lot of folks, they didn't want to move. And one thing that isn't talked about as much, millennial home buying. I think that when you look at the millennial demographic, they're really at the peak. The last couple of years, they've been at the peak of their spending prowess. Really, how much money they have, to put in, to buying homes. I think that millennials, they've hit their peak with their spending prowess, and I think that's going to start to go down. And you look at the baby boomer generation, is so much bigger than the millennial generation. Generation Z is even smaller. So what you're seeing is this huge number of home increases. And like we said, it's a declining amount, not just declining population, but declining, amount of people who are working and have the spending prowess to buy a house.
And then they keep building new homes. Mm-hmm. And so I've seen that firsthand here because last year it was really hard to build a new home. There was wait lists. This one neighborhood I looked at, they're like, yeah, you can get on the wait list for this lot. It's a 20-person wait list. They're ahead of you. There wasn't a whole lot of, inventory for new homes. I got an email this week, and that same neighborhood has 4 spec homes available. Mm-hmm. 4.
And I looked at a statistic recently, I think from Redfin, It said in February this year, and this is month over month, not year to year. January to February, new mortgage applications decreased 8.5%.
And then so then the interest rate is going to start climbing to fight inflation.
Yes.
And then that's going to take people off the market wanting to buy homes.
It's going to take people off the market. I mean, because not so many people are buying. I think a lot of sellers are going to start to panic, and they're going to say, "Oh, I need to sell my home quickly because this, the demand is drying up because a lot
Right.
less people can afford one." And what I think what we saw in the last quarter of 2021 was so many folks who were panic buying. I think
Yeah.
we're going to shift. We're going to see people panic sell as the interest rate goes up, the mortgage rate goes up. So many people are going to put home buying on pause. That's going to happen. I think we're going to start to see a lot of folks saying, "I need to lock in these gains because what I said though, the party's ending. I gotta call my Uber before everyone else does.
So we're going to see
Get
the
out of
interest
Dodge.
rates grow up.
Go up.
Yeah, we're going to have demand go down. People are going to panic sell. And then one of the articles that we read said that if we just wait, we're going to have this excess of housing. They're going to start lowering the interest rates again. So you got to wait for the interest rates to lower again.
People are worried about refinancing, about the high mortgage price, the mortgage interest rate. Here's the thing. I mean, the world paradigm that we live in, the world economy, it's so reliant on debt, on new debt issuance. I don't think it'd be possible to go above the interest rate going above 3%. I mean, I think the Federal Reserve, they're forecasting to have it go to 2.8. I think even that's too high. I mean, I struggle to the amount of debt we have. We would have to raise interest rates how much they want to. We have to reallocate, reorient the world economy to not be so debt reliant. So, people worry about interest rates. I'm not that worried about interest rates go up too much. I don't see a world where we could have above 2% interest rates because of all the debt we have.
This is why people are forecasting that our current economic system can't last.
It used to be normal to have 6-7% interest rates. The amount of debt, I mean, having above 2%. And we saw this, by the way, 2018, the Federal Reserve got interest rates of 2%. And there was a lot of inflation worries, or not inflation, there was recession worries. People were really worried about recession. And when the Federal Reserve was trying to do quantitative tightening, folks were worried about that. So yeah, I don't see. I mean, if you're worried about the mortgage rate is going up so much, I'll never be back in the market, or if you're buying a home and you think, well, man, I'm paying this high rate, you can refinance later. It's gonna go back down. I don't see. We're not gonna have a world where we're gonna have interest rates. It's not something that is sustainable.
It's gonna go. Yeah, what I'm reading is it's gonna go up. We're gonna have more housing. We're gonna have an excess of housing, and it's gonna go down. And it's a really great point about the baby boomers because they're gonna start moving. They're gonna start downsizing. They're gonna start moving into assisted living. And there's going to be more housing on the market. This huge group of people are aging and are going to be passing away, I hate to say that because my parents are baby boomers. So
Right. I mean, they're going to be moving out of their house. They're going to be downsizing, which, tell you what's interesting about that, there's a really good Wall Street Journal article I read. It was talking about, the retirement boom with all the baby boomers who are retiring. I guess that they're having what's called luxury retirement homes in urban areas. I don't know why. This is funny.
Retirement. So what's the luxury retirement home?
So a lot of the baby boomers, they don't want to be put out to pasture. I mean, a lot of them probably should be put out to pasture, but they're not having it. So they actually want to retire in urban area with a lot of shops and restaurants, resorts. So there's commercial real estate developers, they're seeing a huge rise in luxury retirement homes that are actually located in a really urban area. So it's Indianapolis, think Mass Avenue.
Is it like a condo?
It's almost like a condo. Think like Indianapolis, like Mass Avenue, Broad Ripple. like building nice new condos there that are retirement homes. I mean, usually retirement.
Is it assisted living or is it like just a smaller home or?
That I don't know. I mean, I think it's a retirement community is what is like the politically correct term they use. But so imagine a lot of retirement homes used to kind of be like off, like away, a side of town people wouldn't go to, an area that's not very populated. And they bring the seniors on a bus to take them to church or the library.
I see those buses.
I know, it's really
I
sweet.
see those.
But the baby boomers, they don't want that. They're just like, hey, your kids got put out to pasture. I'm gonna have a luxury condo, retirement facility, and I'm spending every dime. That's the baby boomer attitude.
Yeah, well, it's funny because we live on one of the most beautiful streets in Indianapolis that I think, and we live kind of like on the edge of the neighborhood I grew up with, and it's this street with these beautiful homes, and we have a little double that we're renting like right on the edge, and so for Halloween, all the homeowners were out giving out candy, and it's horrible. Well, I don't know. It's like we're getting candy, and all these people are older, and it's like, oh, maybe I can buy your house in a year.
Well, we've been talking so much about
because you're gonna retire.
We've been talking about baby boomers so much, but I mean, you look at the demographics, especially among millennials.
These homes are coming for sale.
I don't all this demand. I don't see there being this demand for homes like going in the next. And I thought millennials, a lot of them, they move more, they just change jobs more. I thought that they didn't want to have the same eagerness to own a home.
Maybe they don't. I don't know, but I think everybody just wants to. Most people want to have a home, and especially when you're seeing rent go through the roof.
Now that's one interesting thing. I was reading Ben Bernake's book. If you don't know Ben Bernake, he was chairman of the Federal Reserve back from 2008 to 15. And in his book, he talked about the housing crisis 2008. And the numbers, you look at the growth. I get my words twisted. You look at the growth of home prices in 2006 and 2007 compared to 2020, 2021, the numbers stack up almost identical. One difference is in 2006 and 2007, they were not seeing rent prices increase as much. So it's possible, if rents are going up to match that, the bubble would not be as bad as 2008.
But yeah, we don't have those adjustable rate mortgages too.
Not as many.
Yeah, so we're not going to have this foreclosure situation. But
just a lot of people will be underwater in their homes. I shouldn't say some. I think a lot of people will be underwater. I don't think we're going to see the foreclosures we did because lending standards are a lot higher.
Right.
I mean, back in 2005, were they just giving anyone a home? Like they just let anybody buy a home 2005, anyone get credit?
But and that's what our worry is looking to buy. It's like, are we going to put, like the prices are so high, there's more pressure to put more money down, to pull money out of investments and put it down in the home. But then if the prices come back down, you've lost that money. Now the home isn't worth that anymore. You can't sell the home and get that money back out of that home.
Right.
And that's what our worry is. Like, literally, that's our worry.
Right. I mean, yeah, so some takeaways for folks watching this about what to do with housing. I mean, granted, I'm not a licensed realtor. I've studied real estate a lot, so don't take it as advice. I mean, if you're going to do a down payment, I would almost look at doing a 10% down payment, and you might have PM.
Maybe a 5.
Maybe. I mean, now you might pay PMI, but you can refinance to get rid of mortgage insurance.
But you can't refinance if the price goes down a lot. You don't have that equity to refinance.
Yeah, I almost would warn folks against like a 20-25% down payment because that's how you get underwater is with the big down payment. So be careful with that.
I think that if you have flexibility, wait till 2023. That's what I think. Just wait, see what happens, because everything is just so crazy right now.
I see the market. I think it will go down 10, 15% at least. I mean, in 2008, you had homes going down 20, 25. I don't think it's going to go down as bad as '08. Foreclosures will not be as bad. I do think that there are some folks out there who maybe didn't make the best choice. And,
Panic buy.
yeah, a lot of people who panic bought, they might be, I don't know if they'll be in trouble, but, my heart goes out to them.
They're just going to have this house that's not worth what they bought it for. But I'd hate to see somebody get like this really high mortgage payment that they're paying on a house that isn't worth that anymore.
But yeah, I mean, again, I would say to people, don't try to time the market, especially if it's a forever home. You're going to live there for 5 or 7 years, but I don't know. Maybe wait until like middle of 2023 if you're going to buy a home, because I see prices coming down. I don't see this much demand is not going to keep going. I mean,
last year, no new homes were on the market. This year, I'm seeing multiple neighborhoods. I went and looked at these one homes that were just amazing. They were so beautiful. If I took you there and you saw the house, you'd probably be like, okay, babe. They're so pretty.
An office and a man cave. That's all I need.
It had
I'm a simple
both.
man.
It had an office, a man cave, a downstairs master bedroom for privacy. It had everything. Like, it had everything. It had these amazing 10-foot ceilings. But I was surprised when I walked in. They're like, yeah, we have 3 spec homes available for you to choose from. And last year, that didn't exist. So you can already see, like, it changing.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. You should never panic buy or sell just don't do anything under panic or duress. That's when the bad decisions are made.
Be willing to walk away.
So if you're selling your home, don't try to panic sell. If you panic bought, 2021 last quarter, I hope it works out for you. If you put a big down payment in, but we'll see what happens.
You can't undo what you did, but you can't. I ordered a car, I had to wait 4 months for, and they tried to hard sell me all these warranties and stuff, and told me I couldn't have the car unless I bought these warranties, and I had to be prepared to walk out. So you got to be prepared to not be so emotional. And home buying is emotional. It's an emotional purchase a lot of times. So
yeah, so you stay grounded, try not to be too emotional. I mean, obviously you want to close with emotion, but you want to have logic going in.
So we're going to stay in our rental with the broken pipes that don't work, that the landlord won't fix, and the 20-year-old washer and dryer, and the refrigerator that won't stay closed.
It's a place to lay our heads for now.
Yeah, and the oven that can barely fit a turkey, and we're going to stay.
Right. But yeah, wrapping up with housing, is there anything else we want to mention? I mean, we covered a lot of ground with everything that's going on. I mean, I guess I just want to reiterate.
Prices are going to come down.
Interest rates are
going to go up, but then they're going to come back down. So you're going to see them go up. Don't freak out, because they're going to come back down.
Yeah, so wrapping up, we don't see interest rates going above 3%, so don't worry about that because you can refinance in the future. I would maybe wait to buy a home. Wait till probably second, third quarter of next year to look into that. And again, don't be doing anything under panic, whether it's buying or selling. It's going to be interesting to see what's going on, what happens in the future. I hope you got some good takeaways from this video, and it'll help you and your home buying. I want to call it an adventure. Maybe a little bit nightmarish. I hope the takeaways help you with your home buying.
And try
nightmare.
the emotion code. If you've got pain and you can't figure out what it's from, and you've tried every medication, try the emotion code. Why not?
Right, and try the emotion code while you're in your home, while you're buying a home, because you're gonna have all that trapped energy, trapped emotion. But yeah, emotion code, very cool.
And that's it for today, right?
That is all, folks. Signing off. Andrew Carter alongside Jennifer Bolton. We're the Steel Trap Mind Show. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And happy Easter, everybody. See ya.